Hello, this is Mrs. Nurhan. I'm glad that we can continue our lessons together. I have missed you guys. I hope you're enjoying yourselves at home, and I'd like to remind you to stay at home and stay safe. Now, in each video you will be watching, we will be learning a new lesson. In today's video, I'll be explaining the past perfect tense. Well, as you can see in this slide, this is an overview of all the tenses which we have already covered. Let's go over them quickly. As you can see here, okay, here is the present tense. We have studied the simple form and the continuous form. To go over it quickly, here are the keywords tomorrow and Sunday. And of course here we use tomorrow with the present simple because this is a fixed timetable. We also covered the past simple and the continuous, present perfect, future with will, and going to. We have already covered those in the first term. And of course you can read those examples here to refresh your memories. They are very simple and very clear. All right. Here in this slide we get to the point. This is the first slide in our lesson, the past perfect tense. And we learn in this slide how to make a statement or a regular sentence in past perfect tense. As you can see, the highlighted and the underlined part is the major part or the most important part here. To form a sentence in the past perfect tense, we need to use had followed by the past participle of the verb. And as you can see, in this tense, all pronouns are followed by had with the past participle, and it doesn't make a difference if it's a singular pronoun or a plural one, as you can see in the example. I had finished my homework before I left. If I replace I with they, we do not change had. It remains as it is. I can say they had finished their homework before they left. He had finished his homework before he left. I repeat myself again. With all pronouns, singular or plural, we use had with the past participle. Let's get to the other column. As you can see, the title is negative. What if I want to change a sentence from an affirmative form into the negative form? As you can see, the only change here, we put not. We change had into hadn't, and we still put the past participle form of the verb. As you can see here in the example, we have changed had into hadn't. Again, we've changed had into hadn't. As we explained before, I can replace he with you or they or we, and we still keep the same form, but we have to change, of course, the pronouns. For example, I would say they hadn't finished their project. All right, let's get to the second part. In this slide, we learn how to form a yes or no question, or what we call the interrogative question. As you can see here, the question must start with had, and the answer starts with yes or no. Here in the slide you can see these are short answers. The highlighted one, these are called short answers. Alright, how can I simply form a question in the past perfect tense? Here is the rule. Had comes first, followed by the subject, and then followed by the past participle. As you see in the example, Had she seen it before? Yes, she had, or no, she hadn't. What if I want to form a WH word question instead of an interrogative question? All you need to do is you add the WH word at the beginning, and then you can apply the rest of the rule. So, what if I want to change she instead of we? I can say, had we seen it before? Yes, we had, or no, we hadn't. What if I want to make a question using you? I would say, had you seen it before? Yes, I had, or no, I hadn't. All right. In this slide, which I think is one of the most important slides in our lesson today, is why we use the past perfect. Again, why do we use the past perfect? We use it, as you can see, to speak when we are already speaking or talking about the past. We want to talk about two actions happened in the past, one after the other. And by one after the other, I mean there is no interruption. They didn't happen at the same time. The two actions, we call them the first action and the second action. When I woke up, the garden was all white. It had snowed that night. As you can see, it had snowed. This is what we call the first action. I woke up. This is the second action. As you can see, the first action is written in past perfect form, had, followed by the past participle. The second action is written in the past simple. Of course, as you read this sentence, you understand there is no interruption. These two actions happened in the past, finished in the past, but they happened one at a time, meaning it snowed first, and then I woke up to find that my garden was all covered in snow. Let's get to the second example. I arrived at the coffee bar 20 minutes late. My friends had already gone. That means my friends arrived first and left first, which means this action is the first one. This is why we used had with already, gone. And then 20 minutes late, I arrived, which means this is the second action. This is why it's written in the past simple. How do I know this is the past simple? The verb ends in ed. As I said before, we form the past perfect with had or hadn't with the past participle. The past participle or the past perfect is the same for all pronouns, whether it's singular or plural. Here's a note for you, my friends. Be careful, sometimes the contraction I apostrophe D can mean I had, or it could mean I would. All right? Let's move to the next slide. Okay, what if I want to change a sentence into the past perfect tense? How can I do this in a quiz or an exam or an exercise? Before we get to this point, we need to know that these here, which I'm circling, are the four words, okay, used as keywords for the past perfect. Let me highlight them for you, okay? Before, by the time, as soon as, and after. These are the most important keywords we use in the past perfect tense. What I really need you to know is, when you read a sentence, before changing it into the past perfect, you need to put events in order first. You should know which action happened first. Will be the easiest way for you to be able to change a sentence into the past perfect form. Let's get to the first example, which will make it more clear. Alright, here number 1. I tell you that before and by the time as well. It's followed by two parts of the sentence separated with a comma. The first part is written in the past simple, the second one is the past perfect, which means that before is followed by the second action, then a comma, and then I put the first action. For example, before I went to bed, I had dinner. It means I had dinner first and then I went to bed. What about after and as soon as? These are followed by the past perfect first, then a comma, and the past simple. Means that the first action comes first and then the second action. Let's look at the example. After they had arrived at the hotel, they went for a tour. It means they arrived first. I put had, as you can see, followed by the past participle, and then they went on a tour. This is the second action. That's why it's written in the past simple tense. We used went for this part. So we know from the slide that before and after have opposite rules. Again, they have opposite rules. Before is followed by past simple, but after is followed by past perfect. Again, I repeat myself, past perfect means had with the past participle. I hope this is clear enough. Alright, in this slide here, we're going to learn how to rewrite a sentence into past perfect using the keywords which we mentioned in the previous slide. Before we get to that point, I want you to bear in mind that in the exam or quiz in a practice, you have to take a good look at the word between brackets. Does it start with a capital letter or small one? Because it depends on the first letter where I'm going to put this word in the sentence. If it starts with a capital letter, it means it has to be in the beginning. With a small one, it means it has to be in the middle. As you can see here in this example, alright, after here starts with a capital A, so its position in the sentence will be in the beginning. As I said before, we have to put the actions in order. So which happened first? I had lunch first, this is the first action, and then I took a nap, this is the second one. Of course, these words then and first make it clear for me. So I'm going to use after the beginning. I put I, this is had, which is part of the rule, and this is had, the past participle of have. Lunch, I took a nap. Here we use took in the past simple because this is the second action. So the answer would be after I had lunch, I took a nap. What about the other one? As we can see here, before starts with a capital letter, so its position in the sentence will be in the beginning. Again, put the actions in order first. Ham did the laundry, then he called his mother. So the laundry was done first, and then he called his mom. This is the second action. As we previously mentioned, before is followed by the second action. Put before in the beginning of the sentence, followed by the second action. Ham called his mother, and here, because it's in the past simple, I used ed. He had done the laundry. I used had with the past participle because this is the past perfect. Okay, let's get to the next slide. Here are more examples. As we saw in the previous slide, you are giving a sentence without a keyword, but the actions were put in order. Here in this sentence, you are given one keyword, and I want you to change the sentence using the other. For example, here, before leaving, I switched off TV. I want you to pay attention to this part. Here, before is followed by a gerund, verb with ing. So we learned from the sentence that before could be followed by a full sentence of subject and verb, or could be followed by a gerund or noun. Before leaving, I switched off TV. I want you to use after. So it means I switched the TV first and then I left. Excellent. How can I answer this? Here. After at the beginning because of the capital A. Which happened first? Of course, I switched the TV off. I used had with a past participle. Comma. I changed leaving, the noun here, into sentence. Who left? I did. So I wrote I, and the past of leave, left, because this is the second action. First, Mary bought the dress, then she got new shoes. This is what I'm talking about. You see here, before starts with a small letter. That means it should be in the middle of the sentence. Which happened first? Did Mary get the shoes first or the dress first? Huh? That's right. Mary got the dress first. So say Mary had bought the dress before she got new shoes. This is past simple and this is past perfect. Here, how can I form a question in the past perfect? Jem had visited the museum before it was closed. This is the past simple, but in the passive voice, which we had already explained in one of our classes. Make a question using what? Put the WH word. Here we make an inversion. Had comes first, followed by Jem. So had Jem done before the museum was closed. Alright, my dear students, this is all we have for tonight for this video. I hope it was clear enough, and I hope it will be helpful to you as you study this lesson. I'm pretty sure that you have heard of the past perfect before in the previous years, and I hope I could have been of help in this video, and I hope that the other videos also will be helpful to you. This is all I need to tell you when it comes to the past perfect, and thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.